One.
Boom, and welcome to Did You Know? Brought to you by Mallard Bay. Anytime any of your hunting and fishing needs, check out mallardbay.com. Outfitters, get a hold of them. They can sell hunts for you. They take care of you. Everything from build a website, do anything you need to do, check out mallardbay.com. You want me to go first today?
Sure.
Okay, we're going to talk about two things.
Two things.
First thing I'm going to talk about is breakfast. A brief history of breakfast. Do you know when do you think people started having breakfast as a normal, everyday deal?
Probably when the American government said that you need however many servings of carbohydrates in a day. So whenever the scam of a food pyramid came out is when they said you started having to have breakfast. So I am going to say 1965.
Not even close.
Shit.
As with most things, morning meals have fallen in and out of vogue throughout history. These changes in cuisine can be attributed to numerous things, including society norms, food security, and even moral panics. Looking at you, Kellogg's. The breakfast stuff. Bacon and eggs. According to food historians, humans have been eating eggs for about 6 million years, originally eating them raw from the nest of wild birds. Jungle birds were domesticated for egg production in India by 3200 BC, and it's thought that ancient Egypt and ancient China were the first societies to domesticate hens. Bacon can be dated back to 1500 BC, making it one of the oldest cuts of meat. The phrase "bringing home the bacon," do you know where that comes from?
Probably somebody bringing home bacon.
Originated in 12th century England. If a married man could testify in front of God that he had not argued with his wife in a year, he would awarded a side of bacon. It was a great honor to bring home the bacon. There is no way in hell I would ever have gotten any bacon, ever. When did bacon and eggs become breakfast? Funnily enough, bacon and eggs for breakfast can all be traced back to the founding father of psychoanalysis. Sigmund Freud. He just really has a way of inserting himself in American culture. His nephew, Edward Bernays, inspired by his uncle's work, was a founder of a propaganda and public relations. He was a media guy. And the company that he worked for sold bacon.
Really?
And they could not get bacon to make the sales. It just was not going like they thought. So in the 1920s, Americans typically ate a light breakfast of coffee, orange juice, and rolls. In order to increase bacon sales, Bernays wrote to 5,000 physicians asking whether a heavy breakfast was better for health than a light breakfast. 4,500 physicians wrote back confirming that a heavy breakfast was better for health as the body is depleted of nutrients after a night of sleep. He had the study published in newspapers across America and said, for your eggs in the morning, you need to have bacon. 4,500 physicians in the United States will tell you that's the way to go. And it's just in America, bacon and eggs is really big in America and a few other places. In Japan, you know what they eat for breakfast?
Sushi.
Miso soup, white rice, and fish are common breakfast items.
Oh. Breakfast
is usually a light meal and then is accompanied with a green tea. Breakfast cuisine in India varies by region, but is typically similar to foods eaten at lunch or dinner and may not include roti, dosa, spiced potatoes, or various chutneys. Nordic countries typically eat open-faced sandwiches for breakfast with cold meats, fish, cheese, or vegetables. And shakshuka is a breakfast dish originated in North Africa, which is getting to be more and more popular in the Middle East. It consists of poached eggs and a tomato sauce and typically served with warm pita or not. And that is part of my eggs deal. My second part I want to talk about is World War II. What country do you think had the most casualties in World War II?
Is this a trick question?
Nope.
Or is this pretty upfront?
It's a history question.
Germany.
Actually, Russia. 21 million people died in World War II in Russia.
Yes, I did know that.
Do you know how many children died during the Holocaust?
20 million.
1.5 million. There's 21 million Russians got killed. And you think there's that many kids got killed in the Holocaust?
I'm just throwing numbers out.
Russian Red Army were accused of several war crimes. They raped over 2 million German women between the ages of 13 to 70 during the genocide.
Russia did?
Yep. Even after the Allies arrived, many.
Hold on. Let's go easy here on Russia. I think we're probably missing some information about the boys in green.
This is just talking about the Russian ones. I'm sure that the American soldiers done some of the same shit. There's no doubt about that. The biggest thieves during World War II were the American soldiers. Our grandpas came back with all kinds of shit.
All kinds of good stuff.
I mean, they did.
Anyway, go on. I'm sorry to interrupt.
That's okay.
Russia is evil, though.
Most historians agree that World War II began when. Do you know what started World War II?
I know it started World War One, and it was not the assassination of Franz Ferdinand, as most people think.
You sound like the guy on Old School, Sam Kinison.
Why?
When he talks about Vietnam. Have you never seen that skit?
Yeah, you've showed me before. Just aside, did you know the reason that World War One started is because Germany and England were in a submarine race. Germany was outpacing England, and they built up this naval force, and they had to do something with it, so they went to war. They used the excuse of Franz Ferdinand's assassination to jump-started, even though the naval ships only accounted for one battle in World War One. Anyway, back to World War II. It was Hitler. I mean, he was making power moves.
Germany invaded Poland on September 1st, 1939.
Right, yeah.
Others say it really started when Japan invaded Manchuria on September 18th, 1931. And some scholars suggest that World War II is actually a continuation of World War I with a break in between, so who knows?
Right.
The longest battle of World War II was, of course, the Battle of the Atlantic, which was 6 years, 39 to 45. The original abbreviation of the National Socialist Party was Nazis. The word Nazi derives from this, from a Bavarian word that means simple-minded. So if you're a Nazi, you're simple-minded. 600,000 Jews served in the United States Armed Forces during World War II. More than 35,000 were killed, wounded, captured, or missing, and approximately 8,000 died in combat. However, only 2 Jewish soldiers were awarded the Medal of Honor in World War II. That's ridiculous. The Battle of the Bulge is the largest and deadliest battle for U.S. troops, with 80,000 Americans dying there.
Oof.
More Russians lost their lives during the siege of Leningrad than did American and British soldiers combined in all of World War II. One battle.
That's where Germany invaded them, right?
Yeah, they went all the way to Leningrad. They were going to go to Stalin, I think, and then they went to Leningrad. I believe is how it went.
I believe if my Netflix documentary series is right, that was where Hitler lost the war.
Yes, he
should have gone to Stalingrad and he went to Leningrad instead.
He screwed himself up.
So
exactly, that was the big deal. First of all, if he would have just backed off and stopped and redone his troops at the border, none of this shit would have happened. But he wanted to take over all of Russia because he did not see them. In his original plan, that was not his deal to get Russia.
Right. Because I believe, if I'm right, Stalingrad is like where Stalin is, obviously. The capital maybe, and Leningrad was maybe the most populous city. I can't remember.
That's right.
Either way. That was the mistake. That was a kink in the armor.
In 1935, British engineer Robert Watson Watt was working on a death ray that would destroy enemy aircraft using radio waves. His death ray instead invaded into a radar and radio detection and ranging, so he developed the radar by accident. Let me see. There's a couple of things in here that are really... Many historians believe the battle at Stalingrad is not only arguably the bloodiest battle in history, but also a turning point of World War II in Europe. Which about how many people do you think...
backwards then.
How many casualties do you think there was?
100,000. 123,000.
I'll let you guess again.
Was I high?
Just guess again.
I'm going to say 61,598.
The deadliest battle.
Yep.
Between 800,000 and 1.6 million.
I thought you said the deadliest battle was the Battle of the Bulge with 80,000, so I went under.
For American casualties.
See, I didn't listen.
I did not realize this until reading on this. Anne Frank and her sister died at Bergen-Belsen, which was a Jewish concentration camp. Did you know that?
Yeah, they took them.
I didn't know she died there, though. I always thought I've never read the story. I don't
thought she made it?
I thought that maybe I thought she lived a regular, and wrote the book and everything after she got back out of the concentration camp.
No, I think it's like her memoir. I think
yes, it was. But I never.
I think she wrote a journle.
Yeah, I won't read stuff or watch stuff like that.
Why?
Because I know the outcome. I know it's sad.
You didn't know the outcome.
I know,
you were
and I
wrong.
didn't want to watch it. I don't anything. I'm telling you right now, if I know there's going to be a sad, horrible ending to something, I don't watch it. And so I've just assumed that she lived, but I didn't want. I don't like hearing about that kind of stuff because it hurts my soul. So I don't want to watch it. I don't watch any kind of movie usually until I just have to. Then I'm like, man, I wish I'd have watched that before. It was a good movie. Okay, a couple more things.
Anne Frank was 15 when she died.
Yep. Let's see. Here goes. German U-boats took 2,000 Allied ships More than 650,000 Jeeps were built during World War II. American factories also produced 300,000 military aircraft, 89,000 tanks, and 3 million machine guns and 7 million rifles. Do you know the name of the plane that dropped the bomb on Hiroshima?
No, I've seen Oppenheimer, but I don't know the name.
It's called the Enola Gay. Few people know the name of the B-29 that bombed Nagasaki. It was Bach's car, named after the plane's usual commander, Frederick Bach. Did you know what the third town was going to be if they didn't surrender? They were going to blow up? Tokyo. The Germans used the first jet fighters in World War II, the Messerschmitts. However, they were developed too late to change the course of the war. We were so many breaks in that war we would have been in big trouble. During World War II, the acronym BAM stood for Broad-Ass Marines, or Women Soldiers in the Marine Corps. The women, however, called the men hams for hairy-assed Marines.
Not far off, probably.
And my last, did you know, the ace of all fighter aces of all nations is a German fighter pilot, Erich Hartmann, the Blonde Knight. How many kills do you think he had in World War II?
200.
352 kills. Pretty damn impressive. So anyways, that's my did you know, kind of some facts about World War II and bacon.
Okay. Mine. I called an audible last night. My grandmother, mine and Zach's grandmother, is very sick, and the hospital is going to boot her out on Saturday. So I wanted to do a deep dive into the United States medical system. Did you know
it's fucked up? Yes, I did.
That we spend twice as much as other high-income countries. We spend twice as much for healthcare here, and the results do not show it. So let's dive in.
Hold on. We spend more per capita or just more? Because of all the big countries, we're probably twice as big as any of them.
We spend $12,000 per capita. The average is $6,414 per civilized nation.
Okay.
That is what you know what we lead in? We lead in fat people.
Obesity, yeah.
We lead in sick people. We lead in healthcare we spend. We spend more. We spend twice as much as all other organized nations, and we're sicker than ever. So let's dive into this, because I've got some numbers here. Very interesting numbers if I can get my thoughts in order, because I'm a little frazzled. The whole thing is kind of fucked up. Sorry, I know this is a family show. The U.S. has the lowest life expectancy at birth, the highest death rates for avoidable and treatable conditions, the highest maternal and infant mortality rates, and the highest suicide rates. Do you know what the leading cause of bankruptcy is in America? Medical bills.
Yes,
66% of people, 66% of people that have filed bankruptcy in the last couple of years have said that medical bills are why they had to do it. Let's take a look here. Let's see what numbers we got here. Let's see. Trying to find my articles that I pulled up because I've got a lot.
We're probably, I wonder if we're close to leading the world in homelessness per capita now.
I don't know. We are the lowest in hospital visit stays. So if you look at the graph, we're towards the tail end. They kick you out sooner than any other civilized nation. We trail in the number of hospital beds. So even if you needed one, you're probably not going to find one here in America. We lead in administrative costs, and we are fourth in long-term health care per capita. Per capita, we spend $925 on administrative costs. The average is $204. So good job, America. Life expectancy, we're the lowest in. Let's see. I'm kind of all over the place right now because I'm pissed.
You had all this work you had done, and now you're all.
Well, I've got all these bookmarks, and anyway, I can't keep them in order. We spend. No, that's not right. But anyway, you get my point.
That's it.
Sure.
All that medical stuff you've been working on, and that's all that you gave me was those couple of points.
What that should be enough points right there.
Well, it's a screwed up system. There's no doubt. We went through all this with my mom last year. You got to get rid of all your money. You got to, this is my advice to anybody listening. Did you know? I'm going to tell you some, did you know firsthand facts. If you have parents that are 70 72, 73 years old, and they may be in great shape. It's just one bad thing away from them being done. And it could be for anybody, but you start seeing the numbers rise when you get 72 plus. 77 is the magic number when things go to shit. Get there. If you've got a single parent or you got a mom and a dad and they own some stuff, a house, land, whatever it is, have them start putting that land in your kids' names or in a trust or a foundation or something. I'm not a tax guy. I don't know all the ins and outs. But if you do that, when it happens, you're not having to give all their money to the fucking nursing home. And it happens all the time in this country. They'll take everything they have, so drain their bank accounts or put them in different names or something and do it. And if you do it all within 6 months when you need to do it, everything should be fine. But I highly, highly, highly recommend that.
The U.S. is the only high-income country that does not guarantee health coverage. So that's always fun. We spend 3 to 4 times more on healthcare than South Korea, New Zealand, and Japan. I'm just going over some factoids here. I've already said we have the lowest life expectancy from birth. It's 3 years below the average. Avoidable death per 100,000 in the population is higher in the U.S. I've already said that about mortality or infant and mother mortality. The U.S. obesity rate is nearly double the OECD average. Adults in the U.S. are more likely to have multiple chronic conditions. Australia, this is 30% of people over the age of 18 have a chronic disease or multiple. The next closest is Australia with 25%. Let's see. We do not go to the doctor. The U.S. has the lowest rate of physician visits and practicing physicians. So not only that.
So we have less doctors than other countries do.
Yeah.
And most of them have socialized medicine. That kind of surprises me.
The OECD, the average is 3.7. We're at 2.6. Practicing physicians per 1,000 population.
Is how many people?
Practicing physicians per 1,000 people, we have 2.6, and Norway has 5.2. The average is 3.7.
That's about what we are in Knox City.
Physicians consultations in all settings per capita, 4. So I'm guessing that means how many times the average person goes to the doctor.
I'm going
4 times.
I'm going to guess that one reason that we have less physicians, the guys are making a lot of money and they get out of the business. A lot of old doctors are retiring because they don't want to deal with all the insurance problems and the government regulations. I'll bet you when you go to Norway, there's very little government regulation. I'm sure they have it to a degree, but I think it's probably a whole lot. I'm wondering if you looked it up. I wonder if Norway's doctors have to carry insurance for malpractice insurance like we do here.
I don't know. Hospital stays are the shortest in the Netherlands and the United States. The U.S. has among the lowest number of hospital beds. The U.S. has the highest rates of screening for breast and colorectal cancer. There we go. There's one thing that we're in. MRIs are common in Norway and Germany. The U.S. performs MRIs more frequently compared to the average. So there's that. The U.S. has among the highest rates of hip replacements, right behind Switzerland. So we lead in a couple things. So here's my question. Everybody is against America fitting the bill for healthcare. But we're already... I mean, look at the numbers.
What numbers?
We're sicker now than we've ever been. We pay more than we ever have. It costs how much is our unhealthiness costing the American economy? Wouldn't it just be cheaper to keep people healthy make sure that they can go to the doctor if they need to?
What's our debate here? What are we debating?
Should America guarantee health care? Health coverage.
That's a trick question because I'm getting older now. When I was younger, I would have said, fuck no, I don't really care about that. When I was your age, I'd be like, no.
Because the argument is if you guarantee health coverage to everybody, doctors are going to, your quality is going to go down.
Yes. Big time.
How much more is it going to go down? Like how much sicker can we possibly get as a nation?
Well,
How much more? How much more can drugs cost us as a nation? I mean, look at 66% of people that filed bankruptcy in 23 said it was because they couldn't pay their medical bills.
I can't argue with any of the things you've said, but I think the numbers are construed to fit that narrative. And let me finish. Let me finish. I think that the American healthcare system at places is the best anywhere in the world. If you have something really chronically wrong with you, the Mayo Clinic is the best there is in the whole world. Everybody from every place. If you get cancer and you're the president of Brazil, where are you going? You're going to MD Anderson in Houston, Texas. I think that there's things that we're cutting edge on. The problem that we have is we've driven the middle class out of healthcare, being able to afford it. So we're giving it to the people that are indigents and homelessness, and I think that skews our numbers up real bad because those are the people that use the facilities all the time. Constantly. You go to a big hospital in Chicago, Illinois, or Memphis, or Kansas City, or San Francisco, and it's a public hospital, it's full of homeless people that just go there to get a meal and stuff, that do have health problems, a lot of them too. I'm not saying that. And I think that skews the numbers. I really, really do.
We have a homeless problem.
We have a huge homeless, and we've got a huge mental illness problems. And I think we've over-medicated people so much and caused a lot of our problems. And I think that the medical business is a shady one, and it's all about profit. I do not, on the flip side of that, I don't think that I don't like the idea of socialized medicine at all. And so I'm back and forth on two different things. If medicine was done the way it should have been, and probably the way it was done in the 50s and 60s before the insurance, it was affordable. Doctors made a really good living, but they weren't uber wealthy. Now doctors are making millions of dollars a year, and healthcare's gone down for people because people can't afford to go to them. And I think we've kind of gotten so far off track on the profit side that we're not taking care of our people. But where would you go in the world if you had something wrong? If you had tons of money,
I don't know enough. I have no clue.
You would go to the places.
Maybe
in the US
I'd go to
probably.
fucking Switzerland. Maybe I'd go to Norway.
Why?
I don't know. Fucking cheaper.
You've got tons of money. It don't matter. But that's what I'm saying.
But that's 0.1% of the population.
Right. That's what I'm getting at. Our healthcare system is designed for the really uber wealthy that don't care, or for the indigent homelessness.
Poor.
Yes, that's because if you go to the you go to our emergency room up here, and the people that go to the ER all the time are people that don't have any health insurance, they don't have jobs, they don't have nothing, and they go there all the time because it's all taken care of. You know, my dad worked his ass off his whole life. Mm-hmm. Dad never went to the fucking hospital until he was he had a heart attack in his early 60s.
Right.
Early 60s. He'd already retired when he had a heart attack and stuff. Up until that time, did you ever remember Dad going to the doctor before that? Never went to a doctor. Mm-hmm. But his last 5 years or 6 years of his life, he had cancer. He had lung cancer. He had leukemia. He had congestive heart failure. He had every freaking thing in the world wrong with him. But guess who was paying the bill? Medicaid.
Right.
And his supplemental insurance.
Not Medicare.
Medicare.
The old people one.
Yeah, the old people one. But it didn't cost him nothing.
Right.
So if Dad didn't feel good, he'd go to the damn emergency room and they'd feed him and put him in the hospital for a day or two and get him better, and he'd come home.
Like a spa treatment.
Exactly. And so I think that skews the numbers a little bit. But let me ask you, you got two boys, both pretty sharp kids. Mm-hmm. Let's say one of them wants to become a doctor. Do you want your son to work as a socialist medicine doctor, or do you want him to be able to be in the free enterprise world, capitalism? He busts his ass to be law. That's what my problem is with the medical field. I don't like socialized medicine because I got to experience it firsthand when I was a young man. When I was in college, I worked at the base in Wichita Falls. I broke my finger playing basketball. That was my job. I worked at the youth center and did all that sports stuff. Broke my finger, so I couldn't dribble basketball. So I told my boss, I said, "Damn it!" And my finger was all swollen up. He goes, "You need to go to the ER." I said, "I want to go to the ER." He goes, "No, you go on base to the ER. You work here." So I went to the ER base. The place was covered with people. The emergency room was. I went and told them I had a broken finger. I'm thinking, I'm going to be here 10, 12 hours because I know how hospitals are. They called me up immediately. I asked the guy, I said, "I've just got a broke finger." And all them people, he said, "Oh, that's cold, sore throats." Mm-hmm. Those people would go to the emergency room every time they got the sniffles. They got done. They aced it up. They told me to go give me some pain medicine. They're going to give me some back when they give hydrocodone out. So I go, he goes, "I'm going to get you a prescription for hydrocodone." I said, "Can you call it in the Walgreens over by Southwest Parkway? That's where I live at." He goes, "Oh, no. You just take this down here to the deal." Went around the bend there. There was a line, 10 people deep, 10 people wide, people getting medicines free. Giving them the deal, they give you free medicine. That was my first experience with socialized medicine.
Could we not do both?
They do both. If you're in the military, you have socialized medicine.
No. If you're in the middle class, you're fucked. If you're uber
100%.
if you're uber wealthy, you can afford health care, and if you're super rich, the government's going to pay for it.
No, super poor, you mean.
Yeah, what'd I say?
Super rich, but super
I'm
poor.
sorry.
Yes.
If you're super poor, or not even super poor, I think it's, I don't even know how you qualify for Medicaid, but
That's what's wrong with our system.
if you don't make enough money, the government will provide it. If you cross the threshold, you don't care how much healthcare costs.
We're in that middle part. We're in the I can't afford it.
That 80% part can't afford it.
That's right.
So wouldn't it make more sense if you wanna have private insurance, you can have private insurance. If not, there is safety measures to make sure that 80% of Americans can get, and I'm throwing 80% out there just because I think most people
That's
probably fall
pretty
in the
close though.
So I don't know that that's the
Let's
number.
say 60%, 20%.
Sure, I'm good with
20% can afford it. 20% bottom tier.
Right. Okay,
so
I'll go
60.
with that.
The middle part. The same people that are pissed off about everything in the country is the
Right.
people living in the middle.
So if you want to go the private route, go the private route. But if that's going to put a strain on you and you want to go this other route, do it. There's no safety measures for people in the middle because you can't qualify for Medicaid. You're not rich enough to just do whatever plan you want. The United States government, I looked it up, spends $1.5 trillion on healthcare a year.
I believe it.
That's what the government spends.
Yep.
So you're telling me that we can't put a couple more people on government health care?
But that's not going to cut that out.
I'm not saying it's going to cut that out. We're already spending that, and we have nothing to show for it.
But I'm just saying, if you add to that by doing,
Let's cut the military spending. Let's do what RFK says. Cut the military spending by half.
Whoa. Let's don't go into your boy RFK because he's fixing to switch and go endorse Kamala. So go ahead and how you feel about that.
Either way, he's got a good idea. Cut military spending and let's put that towards making America function on internally.
Yeah, then we'd be Norway. There's not
Quit being the fucking world police. Handle shit at home first.
I'm not debating that part either. I think that's a good idea, and to a big degree. Government misspending is our biggest problem in our country.
100%.
We cut out Ukraine and do a lot of things, but the healthcare system is screwed up. Obamacare did not make it nothing but worse. The premises of Obamacare do not care much for the man. Yeah, I would like to see everybody get affordable healthcare. But once the government gets involved, you can't have any kind of affordable government health. You can't afford anything if the government's involved.
Was healthcare affordable before? In 2000?
When I was a kid growing up, I don't ever remember.
No, go to 2006.
No. I'm going to go back to when I was a kid, 45 years ago. I don't remember my parents ever having
but your dad
a big
was a
issue.
fireman, though, so he might have.
He had
got
insurance.
City.
He had insurance. But I have insurance now, but you can't use this shit.
Right, you got a $13,000 deductible.
Yeah, don't do you no
whatever.
good. $3,500 deductible don't do me no good. But when I was a kid, I don't remember ever my parents having a conversation about, I'm too sick, but I really can't afford to go to the doctor.
Right.
You know how many people I've heard say that in the last couple of years? All the time.
Unless I'm on the deathbed, don't send me because I don't want that medical bill.
I mean, your mom's sick right now.
Right.
She ain't going to go to the doctor.
No.
She can go. It costs $50 to go to the doctor. It's not a big deal, but she's too hard-headed to go. But people don't go to the doctor because they can't afford it.
Yeah.
You know, I don't go to the doctor ever. I didn't go to the doctor for 3 years. I don't like going to the doctor, but you can't afford to go to a doctor. Eye doctor. We went the other day, got 2 pair of glasses, $1,000.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I don't know what the answer is. I'm just venting here. I'm sure I sound like a socialist, but this whole thing with my grandmother's got me all sorts of.
Yep.
I just can't believe that a lady's sick. She's had a stroke. She's got fractures in her back. She's got dementia, and we're gonna. Oh, your insurance ran out. Time to go.
You want me to?
You got till Saturday.
You want me to tell you to it from the administrator at the hospital's point of view is?
How about from the human point of view?
No, I agree with you.
Let's look at it as a human.
I
mean, what are you going to do? You're just going to throw her out on the curb? Best of luck to you. I know you're not well. Your back's broken. You've had a stroke, and your dementia's playing hell on you. Best of luck to you.
How many times you hear me and Tony deal with my mom and dad over the same shit? It happens. It sucks. But from the administrative view is, you know what that little hospital over there is saying? Why should it be on us to come up with this? Go to at least to your home hospital. Let it be a burden to them where you pay taxes. Or that hospital don't want it either because they're going to have to pay for it. That's why it's that way. It's because of the government. Too much government regulation. And it's absolutely terrible. And I agree with you 100% on everything you said. And my prayers go out to her because it's a horrible situation. I've been there. And you know what? Probably in the next 30 years, you're going to go through that with me or mom also.
I don't know.
I don't see it getting any better.
Well, shit, Jeff. We might just have to fucking put you down.
That's the
Might
best.
just have to put you down.
And
Do it like Nazi Germany.
You know what? If
You
I
become a burden, I'm just going to put 2 to the back of your head.
if I ever get to that situation, I would be more than happy for you to do that. I wouldn't have a problem with that.
Would you rather have 2 to the back of the head or a pillow like George Costanza?
Probably the back of the head.
Did you see that? Where
Yeah, I want it
Jerry.
I want it in the back of the head.
I think George said he was dying. Just put me out of my misery, Jerry. Okay.
No, I would rather have I'd rather have the gun to the back of the head. But the healthcare system screwed up. Anyways, that's
Glad we spend so much. I'm glad dollars are hard at work here in America. We figured it out. Congratulations, America. We've got a great healthcare system. We pay twice as much as anybody else. Boy, don't the results show it. Give us a fucking pat on the back. Love you. Bye. Watch for deer.
I don't think
rich.
anybody is taking the side of the healthcare
No,
system.
they are. I'm a socialist because I want fucking healthcare for all. Bye.